Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is Wacky and Weird Wednesday. That's right. We're covering all the weird and wacky news that's been happening this week today. It's Before Coffee, the father and daughter comprehensive news of Planet Earth podcast, where we look up our stories 10 to 15 minutes before we start, and we haven't had any caffeine. So, let's read out those headlines and see what weird stuff's happening in the news. Today on Before Coffee. Magnificent Scottish oak that time forgot is named UK Tree of the Year.
And some high school students prove the Pythagorean Theorem. Idaho man breaks records for sorting Peanut M&Ms. And another man is reunited with his ring after 54 years.
Around 50,000 resold Oasis tickets to be cancelled ahead of the UK tour.
And it's Halloween tomorrow. And Des Moines, Iowa, kids will trick-or-treat for the first time since 1938. And it's almost time for the Bat Beauty Contest.
King Conker keeps the crown. World Conker Champion cleared of cheating.
It's National Wicked Day. Oh yes. So go out there and be wicked for at least one day before Halloween on October 30th, 2024 on Before Coffee.
Lots of weird news today. So let's start our first one with having a Tree of the Year. That's a bit weird. What's more weird is that it's that people are so magnificently impressed by this Scottish oak. This is from Andrew Smart on the National Scotland. The Skippinish Oak in Lochaber, Scotland, has been named UK Tree of the Year after winning a public vote against 11 other contenders. Wow, there's even a public vote for this. The impressive specimen, which is hidden away in the Skeeta spruce plantation at Achnacarry, supports an island of native ecosystems, including rare lichens such as the black-eyed Susan. Yeah, everyone loves their rare lichens. Lichens are those really weird, like, kind of mold-looking things that grow on the side of trees. Great indicator of great air quality, because they only exist in good air quality. They die if the air quality is bad. The tree has a girth of around 8 meters and is thought to be over 400 years old, but wasn't known to modern tree experts until the Skimpinish Celida band played for a gathering of the Native Woodland Discussion Group at Fort William. Wow, so thanks to one band, everyone's been able to find out where this tree is. It's the Scottish tree that time forgot. The Skippinish oak is thought to be around 400 years old. Actually, I think if I can show you a picture of it, let me copy the image URL here. And then we can look at this 400-year-old oak here. Oh goodness, that's so tiny. Why is it so tiny? The picture is so small. Alright, here you go. This is what it looks like. It has it's just like a spindly spider oak. Alright, now that we looked at that, Andrew Stevenson from the Skippinish band added that he was delighted that it had won the Tree of the Year award and that it was held at a special place in his heart, since his father described it to him as a young boy. Oh man, it's a generational tree. People have been sharing for a long time. Oh yeah, the good oak up there. I think it's at least 1,000 years old. The group, which is set to play at the OVO Hydro in Glasgow next year, will now compose a new song in honor of the oak tree. Dr. Kate Luthwaite from the Woodland Trust said the tree is a magnificent example of natural heritage and that this recognition shines a light on the incredible biodiversity our trees support. The Skippinish oak took 21% of the votes in an online poll. That's out of 11, so that's still pretty high. The runners-up were the Darwin Oak in Shrewsbury, which secured a close second place with 20%. Wow. The really tight vote for the tree of the year. And the 1,000-year-old Bowthorpe Oak in Lincolnshire came in third with 14%. So that is our, we were whacking weird news about tree of the year in the UK. And isn't that fun to learn about? And so also hello Owen and Allah for in the chat. On to your story about not trees. We have like 15 stories we're covering now, I think.
Big fans of the Pythagorean Theorem are going to love this because high school students who came up with impossible proof of the Pythagorean Theorem discovered 9 more solutions to the problem. This is from livescience.com's Sasha Pare. Well, 2 students who discovered a seemingly impossible proof of the Pythagorean Theorem in 2022 have wowed the math community again with completely new solutions to the problems. While in high school, Nikia Jackson and Calcia Johnson from Louisiana used trigonometry to prove the 2,000-year-old Pythagorean Theorem, which states that the sum of the squares of a right triangle's 2 shorter sides are equal to the square of the triangle's longest side, the hypotenuse. Mathematicians had long thought that using trigonometry to prove the theorem was unworkable, given that the fundamental formulas for trigonometry are based on the assumption that the theorem is true. Jackson and Johnson came up with their impossible proof in an answer to a bonus question in a school math contest. They presented their work at the American Mathematical Society meeting in 2023, but the proof hasn't been thoroughly scrutinized at that point. Now, a new paper published Monday, October 28th, in the Journal of American Mathematical Monthly shows their solution held up to peer review. Not only that, the students also outlined 9 more proofs to the Pythagorean Theorem using trigonometry. To have a paper published at such a young age is really mind-blowing, Johnson said, who is now studying environmental engineering at Louisiana State University. And in a statement emailed to Live Science, I am very proud that we are both able to be such a positive influence on showing that young women and women of color can do things. By proving the Pythagorean Theorem by using trigonometry, but without using the theorem itself, the 2 young women overcame a failure of logic known as circular reasoning. Trigonometry is a branch of mathematics that lays out how the sides, lengths, and angles in a triangle are related, and as such, the discipline often includes expressions of the Pythagorean theorem. But Jackson and Johnson managed to prove the theorem using a result of trigonometry called the law of sines, dodging circular reasoning. In the new study, and on top of their initial proof, the young mathematicians described the 4 new ways to prove Pythagoras' theorem using trigonometry as well as a novel method that revealed 5 more proofs, totaling 10 proofs. Jackson and Johnson are only the 3rd and 4th people known to have proven the Pythagorean theorem using trigonometry without resorting to circular reasoning. The other 2 people were professional mathematicians, according to the statement. I didn't think it would go this far. Jackson, who currently studies pharmacology at Xavier University in Louisiana, said in a statement, I was pretty surprised to be published. In the paper, Jackson and Johnson said there are 2 ways to present trigonometry and its functions, sine and cosine, but these versions are often conflated into one. Sine and cosine are ratios that are defined in the context of a triangle's right angle, and they can be presented according to either the trigonomic method or a method that uses polynomials of complex numbers, according to the paper. The conflation means that trying to make sense of trigonometry can be like trying to make sense of a picture where 2 different images have been printed on top of each other, Jackson and Johnson wrote. By Teasing the two methods apart, researchers can discover a large collection of new proofs of the Pythagorean theorem the young mathematicians added. And there is your math weird news.
Wacky math, being wacky.
Most of that.
The numbers are calculating.
Haven't used that word. Another weird news. This is from UPI.com. Ben Hooper, Idaho man breaks world record for sorting peanuts. There, you talk about weird numbers hard to calculate. Then there's astronomical numbers. An Idaho man put his color coding skills to the test and broke a world record by sorting 1.7 ounces of Peanut M&Ms color by color. I'm sorry. This was an astronomical number. This was a speed record. Sorry. He sorted 1.6 ounces of Peanut M&Ms by color in 57.78 seconds. David Rush, who holds the most concurrent Guinness World Record titles, previously set the Peanut M&M sorting record at 1 minute and 14 seconds. But his title was later taken by someone who managed to test, 2 seconds faster. It's like I've been eating Peanut M&Ms right away. Rush said he was determined to break the record by completing the color sorting in under 1 minute. My journey was filled with hilarious obstacles, like my daughter adding water to my M&Ms and my sons making the supplies magically disappear, leading to multiple trips to the store. But I persevered. Rush was able to recapture the record and exceed his personal goal by sorting 17.6 ounces of Peanut M&Ms in 57.78 seconds. It's kind of Halloween related.
Yeah, that's a lot. Wow. It's really quick.
And so, he sorted another odd story today from UPI.com. Ben Hooper, man reunited after 54 years with ring that he lost on a golf course. This is a very short story. A Florida man who lost his U.S. Naval Academy class ring on a Pennsylvania golf course was reunited with the prize item by a fellow golfer 54 years later. David Lorenzo, 82, said he lost his class of 64 ring while golfing with his father at Uniontown Country Club near Pittsburgh. It survived combat, but it couldn't survive my golf game, Lorenzo told the Pensacola News-Journal. Michael Zennert, 70, was golfing the same club recently when he spotted a shiny object in the clay that had been exposed by recent rains near the fourth green. I saw this shiny thing and thought it was a beer can tab, Zennert said. I dug it out slowly so no one would step on it, and I saw it was a ring. Zennert searched for the ring's owner online and found a podcast episode which Lorenzo talked about his experiences in the military. He traveled to Florida to present Lorenzo the ring at the National Naval Aviation Museum at Naval Air Station, Pensacola, where Lorenzo is a volunteer. I just knew I couldn't send the mail, Zennert said. I knew it had to be personally delivered. The museum celebrated Lorenzo's returning ring on social media. Christmas came early this year for the longtime museum volunteer Dave Lorenzo, post said. So, good news on the ring. Weird that somebody found it and went to the trouble of flying out there, Florida, to give it back to the guy. But hey, you're 70 and you got time on your hands and money to spend. Why the hell not go to Florida, right? Yeah, there's your weird stories. Weird story wrap up for today's Wednesday morning.
Wow.
Today's Wednesday morning.
People are being wild out there for sure. Well, I hope you didn't order tickets for the UK tour of Oasis because your ticket might be canceled if you bought it from scalpers. This is the wacky news coming out of the UK and out of Ticketmaster, who has canceled around 50,000 resold tickets ahead of the tour. This is on The Independent by Shahana Yasmin. Ticketmaster will be canceling around 50,000 tickets to Oasis reunion concerts in the UK that were sold on a resale website. Promoters Live Nation and SJM confirmed that these canceled tickets will be made available for sale through the official seller, Ticketmaster, and at face value, reported BBC. That's right, there's no selling tickets for, $1,500 because you got the last ticket available at the, Section A. The band, led by brothers Noel and Liam Gallagher, announced their reunion in August, which we covered, after 15 years. The Britpop's giants are reuniting in 2025 for the first time since 2009 for a series of sold-out shows in London, Manchester, Cardiff, Edinburgh, and Dublin. Shortly after the first set of tickets went on sale, they were seen listed on resale sites such as Viagogo at prices up to £6,000. Fan issued a warning to fans to avoid unauthorized resale sites with a statement on social media. We have noticed people attempting to sell tickets on the secondary market since the start of the pre-sale. Please note, tickets can only be resold at face value via Ticketmaster and Twickets. Tickets sold in breach of the terms and conditions will be cancelled by the promoters. The face value of the tickets was between $74.25 to $506.25 for pre-show party package, right? So don't spend any more than $500 for these tickets because that is the limit for the sale. There were 1.4 million tickets that went on sale, but over 10 million fans from around 158 countries were in queue for the tickets. Rules for the ticket sales state that fans are only allowed to buy tickets via Ticketmaster or resale partners Twickets at face value. In a statement to the BBC, a Live Nation spokesperson said, "These terms and conditions were successfully put in place to take action against secondary ticketing companies reselling tickets for huge profit. Only 4% of tickets have ended up on resale sites. Some major tours can see up to 20% of tickets appearing via the major unauthorized secondary platforms. All parties involved with the tour continue to urge fans not to purchase tickets from unauthorized websites, as some of these may be fraudulent and others subject to cancellation. Any fans who believe they have had their ticket cancelled in error will have the option to speak to a relevant ticket agent for a resolution." Viagogo has previously defended its reselling practices as legal and claimed it is a way to deal with fans being frustrated by having website issues trying to buy tickets for gigs. Chris Miller, Viagogo's global managing director, previously said, "We know fans are frustrated with the process, and we know there's a better way. We continue to support industry collaboration to ensure the entire ticketing market works for fans in the live entertainment industry. Resale is legal in the UK, and fans are always protected by our guarantee that they will receive their tickets in time for their event or their money back." The sale caused a lot of controversy due to Ticketmaster's dynamic pricing scheme, which pushes fees up with line with demand. So if 5,000 people are trying to buy tickets, the prices will increase, which is just fucked up, honestly. That's not real. That's whatever. Just sell the tickets for what they're worth. You're still getting your, like, only Ticketmaster is the one making all that money, right? If the venue is like, okay, your venue costs are going to be this much. Okay, so we're going to have to sell our tickets for $50 more than we thought, or £50 more than we thought, so we can afford the venue, right? Then Ticketmaster is going, actually, we're going to sell those tickets for £70 more than they are, so that we can make an extra 20 per sale. And that's it. That's all they're doing. They're boosting the prices for themselves. Nobody is getting that money except for them. And that's the huge wacky thing about this, is that Ticketmaster has such a monopoly on selling tickets that if somebody tries to resell tickets, maybe, you know, I get it, scalpers can suck. They can be selling the tickets. Yeah, they can be selling the tickets for way too much, right? But if you can afford it, and you can afford it. But they're just basically saying, no, scalpers are not allowed to do that, but we are allowed to do that. We are allowed to increase the prices for ourselves so that we can make an extra bit of money. But scalpers aren't allowed to make an extra bit of money. They should just be poor or something. So, this also led to the Competition and Markets Authority, CMA, announcing an examination into the dynamic pricing to scrutinize whether the sale might have breached consumer protection law. I think the idea of having dynamic pricing goes against consumer protection law. Who gets the money, you know? What's the point of this? Sell your tickets for $50 or $500 or whatever. Make some money because you're selling tickets and you have to pay the venue, and you also might want to make money because you're an artist. But like, there's just too many fingers in the pies, you know? There's like 15 people who want to get that money from those ticket sales. And it really should be 3. 3 people should be getting money. The venue, the artist, and whoever, probably the agent or whatever, who's, you know, set it all up. The person who set it up, you know? Live Nation, for example, right? The promoters, they should get money, the artists should get money, and the venue should get money, and that's it. Ticketmaster is just, ugh. But there's my story. If you, hopefully, you aren't one of the people affected by this cancellation of at least 50,000 tickets who have been resold. And on to your more weird news.
Okay, trick-or-treat news. It's almost Halloween. But first, we're going to talk about bats. This is from AP News, Claire Rush. It's almost Halloween. That means it's time for a bat beauty contest.
Hell yeah.
That's right. Move over, Fat Bear Week. A bat beauty contest is now stepping up to the plate. The Bureau of Land Management has hosted the online competition since 2019 to raise awareness about the animal's ecological importance. The federal agency posts photos of bats in its Facebook and Instagram accounts and then asks people to vote for the cutest one. The bats are part of a wild population living on public lands and are photographed by the agency staff. The first round of voting began Thursday and pitted a Townsend's big-eared bat named Sir Flaps-A-Lot from Utah against a hoary bat, fittingly named Hoary Potter. That's Hoary, Hoary Potter from Oregon. The contest coincides with the start of Bat Week, during which bat experts across the country and the world hold educational events celebrating the only flying mammal. The defining feature of Townsend's big-eared bat is, unsurprisingly, its ears, which can reach a length of 1.5 inches or 38 millimeters. The large ears funnel sound to the ear canal, provide lift during flight, and help with its temperature regulation. The Bureau of Land Management said in its Facebook post presenting the first two contestants. Hoary bats, meanwhile, are known for swift flight and wrapping themselves in their own tails to mimic leaves and hide from predators, the agency said. Due to this attribute, it is estimated that Hoary Potter would be the perfect candidate for the seeker of this year's Quidditch team, referring to the game in the Harry Potter that is played on flying brooms. Neither species are federally listed as endangered. However, Oregon has included them as list of species needed conservation attention, and Utah has done the same for the Townsend's big-eared bat. Emma Buss, the BLM, having a dyslexic moment there. Emma Buss, the BLM wildlife technician who photographed Hoary Potter, said bats around the world play a key role in the environment by eating insects and pollinating flowers and fruits, but they are increasingly facing the threats of habitat loss, disease, and light pollution, and are often misunderstood as scary disease carriers, she said. There's a lot of fear and misconceptions around bats, she said, noting that people often associate rabies with the animal. Less than 1% of all bat populations actually carry rabies, and the bat-to-human disease transmission is actually very low. Busk is rooting for Hoary Potter in the hopes that the Oregon bat will win the beauty contest for the third time. Last year, William Shakespeare, the ear is capitalized, a part of Shakespeare, the ear is capital, all caps. William Shakespeare, a female Townsend big-eared bat from Southern Oregon, whom Busk also photographed, claimed the crown. But in 22, a canyon bat named Barbara, similarly hailing from Southern Oregon, was declared the winner. Our effort every year is to just collect as much data as we can on the species in our resource area so that we know how to better protect them moving forward, Busk said. The beauty contest will continue in rounds over the next week. It is time to wrap up the Halloween, which is tomorrow, when the winner will be announced. Other odd stories, as we talk about bats, we're going to talk about Halloween again. The town of Des Moines, Iowa, has not had trick-or-treating since 1938. In the United States, we have this thing called trick-or-treat. You show up at a house with a bag of candy, ring the doorbell, and you say, trick-or-treat! And they're either going to give you a treat or you throw, the trick is supposed to be, usually something like throwing, toilet paper in the trees or something like that. That happens. It's basically the biggest Halloween prank is the toilet paper in the tree thing. Anyway, trick-or-treat has been banned in Des Moines, apparently. This is from Scott McFetteridge of AP News. For the first time since 1938, children in Des Moines, Iowa will go trick-or-treating on Halloween. Going door to door for candy on All Hallows Eve has long been commonplace throughout the city, but not in Des Moines, where Iowa's capital city took a different approach more than 7 decades ago in hopes of tamping down on hooliganism. Instead, Des Moines, as I pronounce it, Des Moines, Des Moines children don their costumes on Beggar's Night, typically the day before Halloween, and besides screaming trick or treat, children are expected to tell a joke before receiving a treat. Okay. This year, Beggar's Night was set for Wednesday, but because of expected heavy rain and thunderstorms, officials delayed trick or treat by treating until Thursday, which to the rest of the country is the normal Halloween. To my knowledge, it has never been moved or canceled since it was established after Halloween in 1938, Assistant Manager Jen Schulte said. However, the safety of residents, families, and children is always a top priority and led to the change of this year's scheduled Beggar's Night. The city began its unusual custom at the suggestion of former city parks director as a way to reduce vandalism and promote more wholesome fun for kids. Initially, children were encouraged to sing a song, recite poetry, offer some kind of other entertainment, but over time, a joke became the most common thing. Beggar's Night also has limited hours, typically ranging from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's 2 hours. 2 hours of joke telling. Many of Des Moines suburbs are also adopted the Beggar's Night tradition and chose to shift the celebration to Halloween this year. I didn't realize we were that much of an anomaly because for us this is normal, said Debbie Westfall of Swander, who owns a custom shop in West Des Moines. We're going to be in sync with at least with the rest for this year with the way the event is celebrated everywhere else. The big picture for me is it's absolutely about the kids. That's the most important thing. So, not the weirdest story in the world, but still kind of weird.
Yeah.
They celebrate Halloween a day early and call it Beggar's Night. They tell
Beggar's
jokes.
Night. That's so mean.
Stop being weird.
Yeah.
Stop being weird, Iowa. Anyway, back to you.
Okay.
Oh, and I got a video out to you. It has nothing to do with Halloween,
okay.
but I did. Yeah.
Alright. Okay, well, that's yeah, more weird news. Let's talk about the King of Conker. That's right. If anybody knows what Conker is, it's primarily, I want to say it's primarily a British thing, and I don't even know how to explain how it works. But it's like a tree. There's a tree that has like some heavy seeds on it, and you knock them together and you like fight each other with it. But the King of Conker keeps his crown because he was originally challenged as being a cheater, because that's, you know, that's the weird and wacky part of this. There's a World Conker Champion and you can cheat in it. Why? This is from Your News Culture by David Morquand. An investigation has been launched into whether King Conker cheated during the annual World Conker Championship by using a steel chestnut. He's now been cleared. First, there was a chess grandmaster cleared of using anal beads to cheat. I think we read that story also on a Wacky and Weird Wednesday. And now last week's winner of the World Conker Championship, veteran player David Jenkins, will retain his title after being cleared of any wrongdoing over claims that he used a metal conker during his fight. Jenkins, 82, also known as King Conker, has competed in the contest since 1977. You heard that right. Conker World Championships have been going on at least since 1977, and finally won the title that had eluded him on October 13th. His opponent, 23-year-old Alistair Johnson Ferguson, alleged foul play. Come on, dude, he's 80. Let him win. What are you being such a sore loser? He cheated! There's no way an 80-year-old man beat me, a young and fresh 23-year-old at Conker. He alleged foul play because his Conker disintegrated in one hit. Well, maybe he just had a weak chestnut. And that just doesn't happen. He told the Daily Telegraph that he suspected King Conker had used a dummy steel chestnut. Jenkins did reveal that he had steel Conker in his pocket, that he only carried around for its humor value, and did not use it during the event. The World Conker Champions launched an investigation regarding these cheating allegations. Organizers studied photos and videos of matches, interviewed judges, and examined chestnuts used by King Conker. A spokesperson for the World Conker Championship told The Guardian, "This investigation found no evidence that the steel conker was used. King Conker has been cleared of suspicion and his name is being engraved on the trophy." Event chairman Jim Packer rubbished the allegations, telling the BBC, "Somebody's a sore loser, I think. I agree. Come on, dude, it's Conker. You throw chestnuts at each other until one breaks. It's not gonna save the world or anything. Well, it might, you know. Maybe aliens like Conker, and when they come invade, King Conker will save us all with his steel conkers." Jenkins spoke of his relief at the outcome after a stressful week, telling the Daily Star, "We are gentlemen at the World Conker Championship. We don't cheat. I've been playing and practicing for decades. That's how I won. I admit I had the steel conker in my pocket, but I didn't play with it. I show it to people as a joke, but I won't be bringing it again." Jenkins won the men's competition. I love how there's also a women and men's competition for Conker, dude. What does women and men have to do with Conker? You're just throwing chestnut at each other until one breaks. Jenkins won the men's competition, but lost in an overall final to the women's champion, Kelsey Banchbach, originally from the US. Oh, look at that. Yeah, the US wins again or something. And Conkers, of all things. The first recorded Conker game was on the Isle of Wight in 1848. And the World Conker Championships were set up in 1965. Organizers say they have raised... I love this. This is even more weird and wacky. The organizers say they have raised £420,000 for charity. So good for them. Maybe a lot of stoners play Conker. I have no idea. This is crazy. I'd love to see a Conker championship. Just people throwing... What you do, right? For anyone who doesn't know what Conkers is, right? I'll explain it again in a better way. You get a string. You wrap it around a chestnut. And then you hit each other's chestnuts together. That's it. The loser is the one whose chestnut breaks. The end. So the sore loser was like, "Oh, my chestnut exploded instantly. He must be cheating." Maybe just, sometimes they're hollow. There's not a lot of stuff in them. You picked a bad chestnut, man. What do you got? That's all I gotta say. Bad chestnut.
None of my chestnuts grew, by the way. Off the subject. All the chestnuts I collected in Europe, none of them grew.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Tragic.
So no chestnut for me.
That's my culture news, so I guess on this day
That's your story.
Yeah.
This day in weird history. On this day, what happened? Weirdness happened on this day because it's close to Halloween, right? There was weird stuff happening. But in 130, the year 130 AD, the Roman Emperor Hadrian of Hadrian Wall's fame, the wall across Scotland, the north of England at least, not necessarily across Scotland, but a good portion of it. Roman Emperor Hadrian officially founded the city of Antinopolis in ancient Egypt. Excuse me again. In 1340, an allied force of Castilian and Portuguese Christians defeated the Muslim Marinids of North Africa in the Battle of Rio Salado, the Salty River. 1895, German bacteriologist and pathologist Gerhard Damag, recipient of the 1939 Nobel Prize, was born. He won the Nobel Prize for Physiology or Medicine for his discovery of the antibacterial effects of Prontosil. Okay, well, way to go. Way to get born on this day. 1905, Emperor Nicholas II issued the October Manifesto, bringing the end of unlimited autocracy in Russia and ushering an era of constitutional monarchy and preventing the Bolsheviks from taking over for another 15 years or so. 13 years, something like that. 1938, Orson Welles' radio dramatization of H.G. Wells' War of Worlds was broadcast. That was a weird event happening, causing great alarm. Though reports of nationwide panic are unfounded, some listeners feared a genuine invasion from Mars. So People listened, even though they were told over and over again, this is a radio drama, they thought it was a real news report of Martians attacking Earth. People started freaking the hell out.
Yeah, talk about something wacky and weird. Yeah.
Yeah, 1938 on this day. So people losing their shit over the radio show. 1961, the Soviets donated Tsar Bomba over Novaya Zemlya Island in the Arctic Ocean, the largest nuclear weapon ever set off, produced the most powerful human-made explosion ever recorded, spreading that nuclear fallout all over the world in 1961. So I could be born into a nuclear radiated world. Thank you very much, Russia. Thanks a lot for that big bomb, you assholes. 1974, Muhammad Ali knocked out George Foreman in the Rumble in the Jungle, regaining the world heavyweight boxing title. Muhammad Ali.
He went on to make some grills.
1995, voters in Quebec narrowly defeated a referendum that proposed sovereignty for the province within a new economic and political partnership with the rest of Canada. That would have been interesting. Quebec could be in a nation within a nation. It's totally surrounded by another nation, right? Well, I guess they have a border with the United States. That's not true. There's a Quebec border. I've been to it. Yeah, it's the St. George's. It's a really nice city there. 2003, American basketball player LeBron James, who was drafted directly out of high school, made his NBA debut at the Cleveland Cavaliers. Kind of worked out for him. He went to high school in Ohio. He got to play his first 5 years in Cleveland. 5 years or so. However long his first contract was. In 2018, American crime boss Whitey Bulger was beaten to death by fellow inmates while in prison. Oh yeah, Whitey Bulger, who was the head of the Boston area Winter Hill Gang, is a leading figure in organized crime from the late 1960s. I got a fan making noise. Hold on. I don't know if you heard that, but it was awful here. Sound like a big mosquito. Whitey Bulger, immortalized in many movies, including The Departed.
He was immortalized in many movies.
101. Yeah, he was played by, I believe, Jack Nicholson in The Departed. And our featured event on this day on October 30th, featured event was Henry Tudor, crowned King of Manly. Henry Tudor, who was crowned Henry VII on this day in 1485, founded the Tudor dynasty and ended the War of the Roses, used his children's marriages to build alliances and sign treaties that increased England's power. Featured biography, John Adams. Is John Adams' birthday. Second president of the United States and first vice president of the United States. Born October 30th, 1735 in Braintree, Massachusetts, and died July 4th. By coincidence, died the same exact day as Thomas Jefferson on July 4th, 1826, at the age of 90 in Quincy, Massachusetts. Not a fan, completely stopped. Other birthdays today: Ezra Pound, American poet, born in 1885. Ruth Gordon, American writer and actress, born in 1896. From Harold and Maude fame. Homi Bhabha, Indian physicist, born in 1909. Louis Maillet, French director, born in 1932. And Diego Maradona, born Argentine soccer player, born in 1960. Diego Maradona turned 64 today. Wow, he's super old. And what other day is it today? It is Speak Up for Service Day. Yes, be important to other people, not just yourself. Serve. National Candy Corn Day. A lot of people hate candy corn. I'm not totally indifferent to it, but a lot of people just, wow, candy corn, what the hell was that? It's National Wicked Day, which has a lot to do with Halloween, I'm sure, and it's National Publicist Day. So let's get out there and publicize your publicists because they can't do it for themselves. They're doing it for you. So those are your days for today. October 30th, 2024 on Before Candy Corn.
Okay.
Candy corn.
I don't have anything against candy corn, but it's a bit waxy. It is a bit waxy. There's some really cool flavors out there that aren't like the traditional flavor that are a bit better. You know, that last bottom section is like caramel or something. Those are better. But that's
little glops of corn syrup, you know.
Yeah.
Glops of corn syrup.
But this has been Allie here from the Netherlands, and this has been the Wacky and Weird Wednesday of this week, of the 44th week of the year. We will see you tomorrow for Thursday's 13, where we count down 13 things on the list, as well as cover general themeless stories that are just going on this week. Hope to see you there. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and turn on the notification bell so you know when we go live and post a video. Let's go ahead to our Halloween-themed mic drop moment.
I don't know if it has nothing to do with Halloween, but...
Oh, I thought it was Halloween-themed. Sorry. Iowa-themed?
Nothing to do with Halloween.
What is it about, then? You just sent me a random... Okay, here's a random video that has nothing to do with anything.
Are you playing it or not playing it? Are you playing it?
It's playing now.
What do you think about the ride? It was great.
Okay. It's a kid at the fair, man.
I've never been on live.
This kid's
It's random.
15 years old now.
What? Apparently, sometimes I don't watch the news because I'm a kid.
Yeah, I think most kids don't watch the news. Yeah.
Apparently, Grandpa just gives me a remote after we watch the
It's 5.
Powerball.
It's the Powerball.
Wow, it was great. Why? Because apparently you're spinning around, and
Apparently you're spinning around.
Yeah. That's all you do is get dizzy. Is it fun? Yeah. And I've never ever been on live television.
There's a sister, our friend, perhaps.
Yeah, and apparently I already went down to Super.
This guy's just going on a huge rant.
I was scared half to death. I just freaked out.
What I need his name.
All right, that's it for me.
I'm just gonna ask him, what's his name? Noah, what's your last name?
Dick
Noah.
How do you spell his last name?
Ritter, R-I-T-T-E-R.
Okay, and where are you guys from?
Wilkes-Barre.
Wilkes-Barre. All right, buddy. Good stuff. Have fun.
I'm getting high fives to everyone.
Yeah.
All right.
The background, freaking somebody's looking for ya.
When Noah Ritter's a sports guy,
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.